And I'm glad that finally we are able to hold this inaugural meeting. It's going to be brief, it's going to be short, but I did tell you that it's going to be very impactful because it's somewhat that has changed my life. Let me just tell you as it is, you're in the right place. And you're going to be learning so much because, as I was saying, that it is a function that has changed my life. Our coach, esteemed coach BSO, is a dedicated coach and mentor. He's very passionate about guiding individuals in building fulfilling and righteous family. Please, I want you to note those keywords. He's committed to building fulfilling and righteous family. That means God-like family that are patterned in the lifestyle of God. All right, rooted in biblical principles. With nearly over two decades of experience, he has empowered Christian men and women witnessing transformative experiences leading to resilient individuals and beautiful families. He is the host of the Wives Club. So if you're a married man here, you can as well, if you're not aware of the Wise Wife, your wife should join that club because there have been several testimonials of people that lives have been transformed. Men's hangouts, the men's booth, reaching over 2 million people globally. He's a facilitator of numerous mentorship workshops. He creates spaces for connection, shared experiences, and growth. Don't let me say too much. By the time you start listening to him, I'm sure you would have the same mindset that I've had. That makes me bold enough to want to host this community for us. So you're very welcome. I can see Daniel Hem. I see David King. I see My Greats. I see MM on this call. And of course, more persons are going to be joining us. So whilst we're awaiting the coach, I would like to open the floor. Let's do a meet and greet. So please kindly just unmute your mic and tell us maybe your name, just a brief about yourself. For how long are you married? And what are you looking forward to? Let's even just have your expectation being here tonight and of course subsequent meetings that we're going to be having. So I go first. My name is Femi, aka FM Global. I've been married, like I said earlier, for 7 years plus. In less than 5 days from now, I'll be 8 years in marriage. And I'm a father of 2 beautiful kids, a girl and a boy. And I'm a Christian. I love God. And I'm very glad to be here. And of course, I'm looking forward to greater insights to being a king maker in my home, helping my family, raising my family in the way of God, and fulfilling God's purpose and dream for my life. Thank you. So who's going to go next? Please just unmute and introduce yourself. Thank you. David King, please, can you introduce yourself, please? Hello. My great.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity to introduce myself.
Please go ahead.
Oh, my name is David King, Sarah Isaac. I'm a Christian, born again. I love the Lord. And I've been married for, I'm also like you. Within a few weeks from now, I'll be making like 6 years.
Oh, good.
And it's been from glory to glory.
Very stout.
Which God calls us to to experience. My expectation is high, is to learn more and get more, learn more about what, of course we know, but when you're reminded more and more, you get to, when you get married, you get to a point whereby there's a cold and you need a rejuvenation over it. So I'm expecting such a line, and I'm expectant, and I'm happy to be here, and I celebrate the minds behind it. It's really a good pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David King. Please, we would need to keep it very brief because time. We're trying to walk within the hour. So just the intro should be very short. Just tell us your name, where you're from, quickly, as soon as you can. Simplex wise, please, can you unmute yourself and kindly introduce yourself?
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity, sir, to introduce myself. I'm Simplex Aro from Uganda, born again, married now 4 years, some months, 2 boys. I'm expecting great, of course, learning from my seniors, I can say, juniors, so that I can integrate maybe some people's thoughts probably into my own life and see how God does his wonderful deeds in my life. Thank you so much.
All right. Because of time, I'm seeing the coach is here already, so I'm going to be bringing him on board. So, Coach, we'll do the introduction. We'll continue later on, but of course, right about now, the floor is open for our coach to take the wheel. It's fire for fire. We're ready, Coach. Please give it to us. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from wherever you are in the world. Thank you, our host, for having us gather here today. Esteemed Brother Femi, thank you so much for taking the time and effort to put this together. I really do appreciate it. And like you said in the intro, this is something that I enjoy. I have deep pleasure to be a part of. All right, so I hope you can hear me.
Very loud and clear.
Thank you very much. Okay, one of the reasons why I do this, now if you notice, nobody is asking you, at least as much as I know, for any form of payment or fee or something of that nature. Not because the information you will be getting at the end of this is not worth paying top dollars for. It's not because it's a common information, but because of our passion, my passion in particular, towards building righteous, healthy families. Right. So in my quest of building healthy and righteous families, I found that there is a foundation required to build such a family. And to have that kind of family, you need a healthy marriage. And a healthy marriage is further built by 2 entities, a man and a woman. So first you have the man and the woman. Then next you have them coming together to form a union called marriage. And as we go on, the marriage now develops into a family. Now, what I have found is that people try to do it the other way around. They want to have a family without having the marriage. Right? Hence, one of the reasons for dysfunctional families that we have in society. I'm not going to go too deep about that right now because we are dealing with men, but men in respect to being husbands, we are not going to the point of men being fathers yet. All right, we are focusing on men being husbands. Okay, so this is my intro. This is our line of focus. How are you able as a man to become a husband? At what point do you become a husband? What is your motivation for becoming a husband? You can write down these things if you want to, and we can dig deeper as we go along. But we're working with time. This is our introductory class, so I'm tickling your mind. I may say things that you believe you already know. I may say things you do not know or you did not think about before now. The idea of this is to challenge you, to broaden your mindset, such that at the end of the day, you are able to become, as in you are able to develop into the best husband yet for your wife, becoming the husband of her dreams, becoming her knight and shining armor. All right, and that now cascades to becoming all that for your children. All right, so there are progressions that we need to go through. So that said, I'm going to start now the main class, but I would start with a question. It's a question that I'm going to give a few seconds for you to think about. Then I'm going to wait to hear response from maybe one or two people, maybe even three, but we'll make it quick. Now, my first question would be, why did you get married? Don't rush. Take your time. Think about it. All right. Like I said, this is our introductory class. There is a lot that we would learn, but not all in one class. The ladies are already in chapter 5. This is called chapter 1, just like we have in Genesis chapter 1. So this is our chapter 1. Before we dive deeper, I need you to think, and probably if you are able to articulate, tell me, why did you get married? Because it's marriage that made you become a husband, right? So why did you get married? Now at this point, if a pin drops, I literally can hear it. Please unmute your mic and host, please, you can pick maybe one or two people. I would like to hear why they got married. It is not an exam. Any answer you give is correct. I just want to understand your perspective. Like I heard someone say they are from Uganda, someone else I think Kenya or so like that. So in different parts of the world, there are different motivations to getting married. So I want to know, at least from 2 or 3 people, why did you get married?
Okay, esteemed coach, thank you for this insightful question. I believe some people are thinking on the spot now, because maybe nobody ever asked us this question, you know. But of course, I know you've asked me this question before. So let me look at somebody that has not spoken here. I'm seeing Mazi Obedima. Mazi Obedima, you just got married, I guess, this year or maybe last year. It's not far from now. Please, why did you get married? Please kindly unmute and tell us.
Now, please bear in mind there are no wrong answers. Your why will most likely be different from somebody else's why. So there is no cast on stone kind of answer. All right, it's not an examination. Just freely tell us, why do you get married? Your answer might be even be insightful to the next person. All right, but I'd like to know, why did we get married?
Thank you, coach, for making us feel free to express ourselves. Over to you, Mazi Obedima. Why did you get married? Please inspire us.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Mazi.
Thank you for the opportunity. Okay. My answer might sound a bit awkward, but yeah, I still an answer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I am a Christian, and my Christianity is very important and very paramount for me. And being a Christian, there are certain rules about family, kids, and so on and so forth. But me, essentially, why I got married was because of, aside my Christian faith, the core reason I got married was for my cultural belief. I am Igbo by tribe. And there is something, I'm from Anambra State, so I'm the core of the core. So there is something about, in my culture, or rather in my kindred, in my village, there is always a point in a man's life when he knows it is time to start a family. And starting a family has its own guideline culturally, and also, like, that's why I had to start with, I am a Christian. So I am not saying that I am a traditionalist, right? So I'm a Christian. But one of the core reasons why I got married was because of my cultural background. And I went ahead to say that in my kindred, there is a point in a man's life when he has to start a family. Okay, so I'm not saying that culture forced me or culture was the premeditating factor that made me get married. I'm just saying that from my background, I had this consciousness. Then also, to start a family, my Christian background dictates, or instructs rather, that to start a family, I need to get married. I don't know that it's all adding up. Yeah, so in my culture, it is not right to have children before marriage. Then in Christianity, you can't really start a family, really. Okay, let me say, in my culture, you can't really start a family without getting married. Okay, even if you start a family, like you have kids, and probably the lady passed on or something, you still have to wed her. You still have to do the marriage rites before they get the funeral, so on and so forth. So for me, right, my cultural background, impressed with my Christian background, was the core reason why I got married. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your insights.
Then every other thing follows from there.
Oh yes, I get it. Yeah, that's what family. That's the family part. Marriage is one, family is another. So one gives birth to the other. Thank you so much, Obi, for your response. It was really well articulated. Okay, so who else want to add? I want to hear someone from outside of Nigeria so that I'll get to know what's prevalent there. Obi just gave us a little bit of how it goes in Nigeria. All right, so let's hear, how does it go in Uganda or in Kenya, or if you're outside of Africa in your own area? How does it work? Why did you get married? You know, we're working with time, and there is no wrong answer, there is no judgment. We're going to talk about stuff, all right, that might shock some of you. This is not your regular class where we hold punches. All right, all gloves off. We talk about everything here because you're all married, so it means you're an adult. So please don't be shy. I'm not seeing your face. All right. So please, let's go. Two more people. Preferably outside of Nigeria. Let's hear. Why did you get married? Host, please, could you call out maybe one or two people so that we can get on it? Yeah.
From what I'm seeing here, thank you for the opportunity again. I know Simplex Wise is not from Nigeria, so let us hear from Simplex Wise.
All right, so go on. Let's hear from you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
I believe I got married, and I do know I got married just because it is part of growth, because being a Christian and see that God began this issue of marriage in the Garden of Eden. So as a Christian, I ought also to get married as a sign of growth, that I can also move on with life. Well, it's not like the brother who has said before that you have to first like wed so that you can have a family. Here, people just have families anyhow. But to me, I saw it that it's a must. I must wed and start up a family before having children. So it's a growing phenomenon. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's very different from what you have in Nigeria. I thought it was going to be different. All right, so could we take one more person?
Yeah, I just checked the comment section and I'm seeing some persons are in noisy environment, so they're unable to unmute. But I'm seeing
they can type it. They can type the question if they can't speak.
Okay. You can actually type.
Yes, you can type the question. Yes, and you would read the comment out. So anyone that have a question while I'm talking, without interrupting, if you don't want to interrupt, you can ask your question via chat and host. You just read it out. Just get my attention and read it out. All right, it will help us.
But in the meantime, I'm seeing Mimi. I guess he just joined us. Please, Mimi, why did you get married? Can you kindly unmute and share with us? Mimi, then there is
Am I being heard?
Yes, you are. Please.
Okay, thank you so much for the privilege to answer this. I was just thinking to myself.
Mimi, where are you from?
This is Brother Miracle.
Okay. From where, please?
Brother Miracle Samuel from Lagos.
Hello, Brother Miracle. How are you doing today?
Do I sound familiar?
Yes, you do sound familiar.
So, well, for me, at some point, I would just see what it was back then, not with the updated knowledge. I thought, okay, I just give myself a target, like when I get to 30, I wanted to get married before 30 because I thought that by that time, some responsibilities will be coming to me. And at that point, there were things I knew I wouldn't be able to achieve alone. And not for the resources, as it were, but there is the favor that comes with getting married, according to what the Bible says. That's one part. But considering the responsibilities, I had another thought, like, should I get in or should I wait? I pondered on that and ended up waiting for 3 more years. So, and at the end, I got married 3 years after 30. So I thought, let me it's been part of my plan to seal it up at that level, and for that reason I got married. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your insight. So that's 3 different perspectives. One had to do with starting a family, all right. Another one had to do with what was prevailing in the environment, and another one had to do with age. And like I said, there is no wrong answer. But the reason why I wanted us to start with this is because of the next question that I want to ask. And don't forget that I said lots of this introductory class, chapter 1, is to tickle your thoughts so that maybe something you didn't think about, like why did you get married, might not be a question anyone has ever asked you. Now, let me give you a short detour. For me, when younger men come to me and say to me, hey, I want to get married, BSO, the first question I normally would ask is why? And a lot of them are usually thrown off balance because that's not what congratulating you. I want to be sure you are not up about doing something that will destroy you. So I want to know, what's your why? Why are you getting married? You know, why do you want to get married? And if you give me an answer that I think should be more, with your permission, I would give you a little bit more guidance. And if I think your answer is fantastic, then we dig in deep so that it even gets even better. But you see, it's always a very good thing to ask yourself why. And that should go for any decision in life you want to make. It shouldn't make you build doubt. It should help you build depth. Why did you get married? Or why do you want to get married? For those that are not married, even though we don't have singles here, but why did you get married? Right? Now, when you sit down, and after this class, you could go take time and ask yourself. It's not late for you to ask yourself again with maybe more information that you get from this class. You ask yourself, why exactly did I get married? Why? And that's not because you're not having a great time being married. No, it is to dig in deep. Why did I get married? Now, the moment you are able to get that clear, or to any level with which you are able to get it, it now begs the next question. Why did you get married to the woman you got married to? Why?
Coach,
Yes.
please, the point is salient and it's landing really deep. And I dare say that the men here, they're already having some rethink, reviewing. And I particularly like what Brother Miracle said. He was going to use the information he had prior to getting married to bring us on to, with the updated knowledge that he has.
So if you are able to dig deep enough to clearly articulate, and it's nice to articulate it to yourself, get a pen and paper and write it. Why did I get married? Or don't go and write the one that your wife would see and throw you off a cliff. So if you need to write it and you think it's not healthy, you can tear it up or something, but you need to see it. Scripture says you write your vision plain, on tablets, so that anyone that sees is able to run with it, right? So write it very plainly. Don't just think it. There is something that happens from your brain to your hands and it's being written out. Write out clearly, why did you get married? That's one. And I said it gives birth to the next question. Why did you get married to the person you got married to? Now, quickly, before you answer that question, going by the 3 different answers I got earlier, Obi said something about getting married. Traditionally, for you to have a family, you need to get married and all that. So I am guessing, and I stand corrected, one of the reasons why he got married was to build a family, right? Now, because one of his main reasons was to build a family, I dare to say that for him to pick a wife, he would want to pick a wife that would easily and quickly produce him a family. Right? That would seem like a no-brainer. So in selection, he wants to go to a family. When he's checking, he wants to go to a family that have a high rate of baby production, for instance, or a quick rate of baby production. Why? Because one of his agenda for getting married is building a family. Do you get it? So the moment you are able to articulate why you got married, then hence the next question I asked, why did you get married to this particular woman? Because every guy have an option of at least 5 women to select from. Whether you are tall, you're short, you are handsome, you are ugly, you are dark, you are fair, you have money, you don't have money. Whatever it is, a man have at least 5 options, whether you call them options for yourself or not, because there are certain ladies that are open to you that you don't consider an option, but they are open to you. So every man have at least, worst case scenario, 5 options. So the one that you picked, and when I mean at least, some people have way more, but at least, some people say I only have 2. No. The reason why you say 2, because those were the 2 that you considered. You didn't consider the other ones. You usually would have at least 5. So the one that you picked and you are married to today, why did you pick that one? All right. So, host, please tell me how many minutes do we have until he logs us out?
We have 3 minutes left, sir.
3 minutes left. Okay, let's see if one person can jump in and give me a quick answer. So, can you call up one person, tell us why he picked the wife, the present wife, or the lady to become his wife, the person he got married to? If possible, someone that have not spoken. So, I'm sure we have like 2 minutes. All right, so let's hear.
Dr. Chris Udofia, my friend, please, can you kindly unmute and deliver us from this question? Thank you so much.
No answer is wrong. It is your answer. So don't be bothered about reactions, please. Clock is ticking.
Dr. Chris is not responding yet. We can go on to, let's do Ernest King. Ernest King, please can you kindly unmute? Where Coach asked us a question. Of course, we have answered the first question. Why did you get married? Or if you have not answered, you should take our time to answer that. Then the second question being, why did you get married to the particular lady you chose? So of course, we are expecting answers. And I had mentioned that Ernest King should kindly unmute and answer us. And of course, if you are in a busy place, you can just do your typing. You can read it from the chat, so that everybody is carried along, so nobody is left out. Even if you are in a busy place, you can just use your chat button to send us a message. We can read it. In the meantime, Ernest King, are you ready to talk? Can you unmute? Okay.
Yes, sir. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, from wherever you're connected from. My name is Ernest King. I'm from Uganda. And let me start with the first question. I'm going to be so brief. Actually, I just got a reason for getting married. I didn't have any reason. I just found myself there. So yes, I loved this lady, but most of the reasons I got them from the process. The reason for getting married and the reason for marrying this very lady that I'm having, I got those reasons from already when I'm in the process. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. Okay.
Sorry, Paul, go on. You said you got the reason while you were in the process, but what was the reason? Mr. Ernest, if you don't mind me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what was the reason?
Yes, sir. Yes, I chose to stick to the woman I have. When I realized that she's the kind of a person that I would say that my heart always yearned for. Somebody that is understanding, somebody that is supportive, somebody that is, that is there for you at all times. But before, I wasn't seeing all that. But in the process, I discovered all these reasons, and I had to make up my mind to stick to her. Thank you so much, sir.
Coach, do you want to say something before we go to the next person?
No, please go to the next person, please. Thank you.
Okay. Amaya Best, please can you kindly unmute and tell us why you got married to the person you got married to out of the over 5 billion ladies in the world?
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for this great opportunity. Good evening. Sir, good evening, everyone. By then, there were just three things I was looking at. One was the spiritual aspect. Wanted someone who knew the word, and it was very easy to relate, most especially in this ministry. Then the second was the intelligence, and the third was the beauty. So those are the three parameters by then that I really looked up to, and that's what I went for. Thank you very much, sir.
No, I didn't get the third. I had the spirituality, the intelligence. The third, I missed it.
The third was the beauty. Yes.
The beauty. All right.
Yes.
All right. I'm sure coach is taking note of these points. All right. Okay. John Levin, EDB1. Please kindly unmute and tell us why you got married to the person. Why did you choose
John? John will be the last person for this particular segment, and we'll jump in. Okay. So John,
okay,
please.
Okay, sir. Please kindly unmute and feel free to express yourself. Oh, Johnny is not responding as yet. Prince Albert Boyo, please, can you kindly unmute and tell us?
Thank you so very much, sir, for the opportunity to submit my opinion. Good evening, everyone connected. My name is Albert Boyo from Uganda. Personally, the reason as to why I married, the reason as to why I married the person that I married, reading of course I knew when I was growing up, I saw every male get married, so I knew I would get married at one point. So I continued serving in ministry. My specifications of the person that I wanted to get married to were narrowing. Reading the book by a man of God, Pastor Chris, Now That You're Ready to Marry, God specified, don't just get married as Christians. There is a purpose for marriage. So I picked somebody that I knew this person had, firstly, the passion for the vision of a man of God, Pastor Chris, fellowshipping with the same church with me, and committed to ministry. So I identified the purpose, and I knew, because she had the same purpose and believed in the same vision, we could be of one mind. Other factors, I always believed, other factors that are there, I didn't really put them in consideration, because I believed with the word of God, as long as somebody listens to a man of God, they can become the suitable quality of the person that I would settle with. So definitely I had to choose this person. Number one, because of the purpose, which is key. My service in the house of the Lord. Somebody that would understand the vision of the ministry and help me. Pastor said, my wife has been sent into my life to help me fulfill the purpose of God upon my life, and I am to help her fulfill the purpose of God upon her life. So the first key reason in choosing the person that I got married to was the purpose for ministry. I think that's basically the reason I chose the person that I'm married to now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right, so I want to jump on. I'm tempted to jump on purpose, right? But I'm trying to weigh, because of time, which we should go to first. All right, so please, host, just bear in mind at some point, just remind me that I wanted to say something about, ask a question about purpose. But let me just follow what I have right in front of me here, so I don't jump off my thoughts. But I really, purpose is something that we really need to dig into and dig deep into. We probably will have a chapter dedicated to purpose alone. But you see, one of the reasons why I asked, many reasons though, but one of it why I asked the questions that I'm asked right now, I still have more questions lined up. It's going to be question, because like I said, it's to kick off certain thoughts in your head, in your mind, in your spirit, okay? But I know because of our background, we love God and all that. One of the shockers that normally come in when people attend my class is the down-to-earth, raw questions and thoughts and conversations that we have. And I normally give you some form of shock absorbing environment by telling you, please bear in mind that we are grown-ups here. We're not children. Some of us are already parents. You know, there's nobody below 18 years old here. So certain words that will be used, they are not foul languages. They are words created to describe certain gifts that God has given to us as husbands. All right, so I'm putting that out there because I want to kind of switch gears. All right. Now, before I switch, I need you to understand something quickly. For a lot of you, not everybody, but for a lot of you, you have addressed marriage like marriage is a destination, right? Like, oh, marriage is something that you are looking forward to attaining, then you not get there, you not attained it, right? For some people, marriage can be a destination. But for us, the children of God, marriage is not a destination. Marriage is a strategy. Please, if you can, write it down. Marriage is not a destination. Marriage is a strategy. It's actually a means to an end. Now, Obi said something earlier. He wanted to have family. In order to have family, he knew he had to get married, become a husband, for him to get family. Our brother, what's his name now? The one from Uganda that we spoke to earlier, I think it was Ernest, that talked about, that despite the fact that in his environment, people can just start producing children, but he wanted to do it the right way. So he got someone that was soft to his heart and all that. Yes, then he got married to the person, someone kind and all. But you need to understand that marriage is a means to an end. So I have a question here. What's your end game? For Obi, on the surface, his end game, from my understanding, is to have a family, right? It's different for different people. Similar, but it's different in little shades for different people. Why did you get married was the first question, right? A lot of you could say something like, I've gotten to the age. It was time. I don't know who told you it was time, but you say it was time. For some, they want to start a family, they want to do that. Okay, so why did you get married to this particular person? The reason why I asked that second question is, if you know why you got married, the person you got married to, does the person fit the bill? Now, to make it clearer to you, I'm going to jump off quickly to ask a question, to point out something to you. Now, in the wife's class, I told them, I said, marriage is like an employment. Marriage can be seen as an employment. We all know what an employment is, right? So in an employment, you have the person employing, you have an establishment, and you have the person that is being employed. Marriage is like an employment. When an employer, which is the boss, wants to employ, he already knows the space that he wants to fill in the office. Is it a secretary that he wants? Is it an engineer that he wants? Is it an IT person that he wants? Is it what? So he's very clear. Is it a graphics designer that he wants? Is it an editor that he wants? Is it a singer that he wants? Whatever the job opening is, he already has a clear understanding of the job opening, the need for the company that they are hiring for. So he puts out an ad and says, we are hiring. We are hiring for this position, and that position. If you know you are qualified, please, apply. Then the people, in this case, the wives that are the people being employed, they look at the opening in that office, and if it's a company they like to work for, they either already have what it takes to apply, or they go to learn and gain the skills to make themselves qualified to be the ones to apply for that position. But as the man, which is the employer now that we're looking at, you need to be very clear about the opening that you have so that you are not employing the wrong fit. Well, now that you have already employed the person, and this happens a lot in different companies where they employ the person and they find that the person is not exactly a good fit for that job. And because of our background, we cannot kick the person out. So what do you do? What do you do? You now start training the person you have employed to make the person a good fit. But you see, the training, there are companies that train people and they train people for nothing. Like, the training does not make the person any better. Why? Because you have not dug deep to find the right trainings for this staff. Do you get it? So that's why I say marriage is an employment. The moment you see it as an employment, you as the employer, the boss, ask yourself, for those of you that own a business or that are working in a business, what are the responsibilities of a boss in the office? It's not just to say, come here, sit down, do this one. No, you are thinking ahead. You are providing the enabling environment for your staff to be able to carry out her responsibilities. You have visionary, you are seeing far. So you are providing, you are protecting, and you are procreating. As a husband and as a boss in a company, because you want to be able to pay your staff. So you're already thinking, what are the activities that we need to do for us to generate enough funds for me to be able to pay the staff at the end of the month or at the end of 2 weeks? For some people, they pay weekly, some people they pay bi-weekly, some people they pay every month. Whatever process that runs in your country, you want to be able to have provided enough funds so that by the time you pay your staff, you probably would have some profits to pay you, and every other thing is also done. So marriage is not a destination. Marriage is a strategy. You know why you got married, right? Why did you pick this person? Now that you have picked the person, if the person is not a best fit, what can you do to aid the person to become the best fit? Then for the brother that mentioned purpose, right? Reason why I said I was going to talk about purpose, I'll just jump on purpose a little. You know your purpose why you got married, I assume, for everybody here. How many of you had taken the time to tell and explain to your wife the purpose why you got married? How many of you have had that meeting with your wife? You sit her down, you sat down, and you ask, this is the reason why I married you. Not in an insultive way, in an explanatory way, so that she's able to catch the vision and she's able to run with it. Because the moment you are able to explain it in a way where she catches the vision, then you now have two of you moving in the same direction with the same speed, accomplishing great things. One takes care of 1,000, 2, 10,000. But if both of you are in the same vehicle and one wants to go to the east and one wants to go to the west, how is that car going to move? That's where they got the word division. You do not want to have division. You want to have vision, singular vision, in one direction, going to the same place. So when you talk about purpose, let's assume you know the purpose very well. Have you effectively communicated the purpose to your spouse, to your wife? Does she know it? If they stop on the road and say, what's the purpose for your husband marrying you? Would she be able to say to the T exactly why she was married? Because if she's not able to, that's where crack starts to come. You people start working in assumption. Now let's shake this whole stuff a little bit. Let's just assume that the reason why you got married, 2 reasons why you got married. It's not like you cannot accomplish things by yourself. You can. You are well read. You have a good job. Blah 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 blah. So you got married because you want to procreate children, and you want to have the license to have sex. You want to have a God-given license to have sex. Let us assume that that's your reason for getting married. Then you now go out and you now marry a lady that is Saint Katrina, that her libido level is 1/10. But she's God-fearing, or she's God-fearing according to you. She's God-fearing. She loved the Lord. She goes to your church. All that. But when it comes to procreating, she only wants to meet with you once a month, because to her, because of her own belief, it is an act that should be done only. This kind of people just have funny stuff. I don't even have the brain trust to start talking about how funny some ladies have their minds twisted when it comes to things like this, all in the name of I'm a Christian, right? So how would that work? Now, the main reason why you got married is because you want to have 6 children. And because you have not clearly articulated this to her, she only wants to have 1, or she wants to have 2. Or maybe she even tells you she wants to have 6 children. She agrees reluctantly. But she only wants you to lay with her and have sex with her maybe once in a month or once in 2 months. What do you do? How did you do that selection? This is what is important to you. How did you select someone that is on the other side of the scale? But since we're talking to married people, not the ones that are about to get married, you are already here now. What do you now do? These are questions we will dive into deeper in subsequent chapters. But it's something to think about. Why it is important for you to understand why you got married, why you got married to the person you got married to. And my next question is, what is your plan for this marriage that you have created? Now you have come in union with a woman, you have now created what we call marriage. What is your plan to accomplish that purpose that we just briefly talked about? There must be a plan. What is your plan for your marriage? For some people, part of their plan, because of the kind of family they want to have, they don't want their wife to work. They want their wife to stay home and raise the children in the way they want the children to go. For some people, I cannot marry a woman that is not a professional, that is not working. I want blah, 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 blah. But what kind of family do you want to create? It must be clear to you to a large extent. Maybe not 100%, but at least to a large extent. What kind of family do you want to create? Based on what you have put together now. Let's assume that the family is, or your marriage is like a football team. So you are 2 aside, not 11 like the full standard team. Let's say you are playing 2 aside. Okay, so now you have picked your teammates to play the 2 aside with. What's your plan? How do you guys want to pass the ball? How do you want to arrange it? What's the game plan so that you win the game? What is your plan for this marriage? You want to be the breadwinner. You want both of you to be shared breadwinners. What is your plan? And the beautiful thing about life is that you can't cheat on life. Whatever you serve it will serve you back in multiple measures. So if you fold your hand and do nothing, 1 million times 0 is going to serve you 0.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a plan. And that plan must be followed by an action or series of actions.
Mm.
What is your plan?
Mm.
Please, if you not write it down, write it down. Why did I get married? Why did I get married to the person I got married to? What is my purpose for, the purpose for this marriage now that we're in the marriage? Now, what is my plan in actualizing this purpose? Now, when you have asked, what is my plan in actualizing this purpose? You go further to say, okay, what is my part in this plan? Because now you have a plan well written. I'm happy for you. You want to carry out actions. You need to know what is your part in it. And what are your expectations for your wife, which is her own part in it? Have you effectively communicated her part? Has she bought into it? Is she in agreement with it? Does she see what you're saying? Does she see the future you're seeing? So if it's a sex machine you want for a wife and you go to the sex machine, is she on board with it? And there are women that are on board with it. To just sit home and each time you come, they just bounce on you, you just keep popping out children. If that is the dream, you want to populate your local government, it's a purpose. It's not a crime. Did you pick the right fit? Now that you have picked, is there a way you guys can work it out so that both of you become the right fit for each other? What upgrades do you need to do to yourself and to your spouse? Let's say you want to produce children for the local government, like I said. Then you are a businessman that travels, first of the month and returns 27th of the month. You only see your wife, 3 times a month, before 3 days in a month. Before it gets to the next month, you have to travel again. How are you going to accomplish that? You're going to frustrate her. What is your communication pattern? What is your wife's communication pattern? Do you know that? There are women that if you don't shout at them, they don't take you serious. There are women that if you shout at them, they completely switch off. Which kind of woman do you have? There are women that once you blink your eye, they understand. There are women that you have to repeat yourself 10 times before they understand. Which of them is the wife? Have you taken the time to understand your wife's communication? Some people call it love language. Some women are very clingy. They want a woman to always be there. Hold me, hold me. Some women are buy me gift, buy me gift. It doesn't mean they are materialistic. This is just their first understanding of how to show love to them. There are women that are intellectual. They like, sound conversation, blah, 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 blah. What kind of woman have you picked to be in this your team, to play the game of life? Have you taken the time to understand your staff? Don't say because I'm the man, you just come and just lay anything on her. If she's not going to do it, she's not going to do it. There's absolutely nothing you're going to do about it. The worst case scenario is that you're going to have a broken marriage. Is that what you want? How successful do you want your marriage to be? How successful do you want your family to be? What kind of children do you want to create? What kind of family do you want to create? Marriage is a full-time job. It's full-time employment. There is no part-time in marriage. It's a full-time employment. So it is important that you assess your staff, and permit me to refer to your wife as your staff because she is your first staff. Assess your staff. Find out what are the short. How they do review, at the end of the year. Thank God we're approaching the end of the year. Do a review. You've been married for 4 years. You've been married for 6 years. You've been married for 8 years. Sit down. Leave your kids with someone, maybe a house help or a relative. Take your wife out. If it's possible, do that for a space of maybe 24 hours or 48 hours. However you are able to do it. You and your wife alone, sit down. Bring out your book. If she brings out an asset in love, not like a principal where you are giving her instructions. No. Take it as someone that is taking feedback. You have a product you have produced. You want to get feedback. Evaluate, assess, look into, review. Our marriage so far for this past 4 years. Our marriage so far in this past 8 years. Our marriage so far in this past 6 years. In reference to our North Star, your North Star being your purpose. Our marriage so far in the past 6 months. Our marriage so far in the past 1 year. Our marriage so far in the past 20 years. Based on where we said we're going. If you are one of those that did not even have the conversation of where you say you are going, can we now have a clear picture of where we are going in terms of a family? Spend time with the Spirit, pray, get clarity, of purpose from the Lord, because the Lord is the head. You are following, you are following the Lord, and you're expecting that she would follow you. But if she does not see a reason to follow, then she wants to be the head. You not blame her. She's putting her life in your hand, and you are driving like a drunk driver. Who would want to put their life in the hands of a drunk driver? There are husbands that act like drunk drivers. No destination. In Nigeria, they say something like anywhere belle face. You just wake up, you just jump into your clothes, you just go to work, you just come back. Everything is just, on the go, on the fly. No purpose, no direction. No. You should be well anchored. Hence why I started this class with, why did you get married? Is it to produce children? Is it to create a nation? Is it to help populate the kingdom of God with well-equipped godly men? Is it what? You want to populate the world with academicians? You want to populate the world with doctors? You want to why? You want to create a business enterprise, a legacy organization? Why did you get married? Why? Because that thought, okay, the kind of life you want to build determines the kind of wife you got married to. Then it determines, the kind of children in terms of number and quality that you give birth to, then the kind of school you send them to, then the kind of friends you allow them have, then the kind of environment you let them play in, then the kind of, you see how just having that clarity of purpose determines everything else. It determines the amount of time you invest in the things of God in terms of prayer. As the husband in the marriage, you lead spiritually. Your first form of leadership or provision is not even finance, it's spiritual leadership. You lead spiritually. How much time do you give in the things of God? Not by going to church. I'm not talking about going to church here, please. I'm talking about being real. What do you do with the Lord? Your mingling time with the Lord. How much time do you give to the word? How many time do you give in fellowship with the Lord or to the Lord, so that you're able to get the right insight? You know, the scripture talks about in him we live, we move, and have our being. How much of that awareness do you have? All things work together for good. How much of it? And it's not the cliche kind of response. When life punches you, what comes out of you as a husband? So how much spiritual leadership do you have in your marriage? You don't force it on people. It shows. It's not something you don't say, oh, because I'm the man, you have to follow me. Coach BSO said, I'm the head of the home. I am the boss. I'm the one that employed you. So therefore, you must listen to me. That's not how it runs. Because I don't see anywhere in the Bible where the Lord Jesus Christ came to you and said, I'm the Lord Jesus Christ. You have to follow me. No, he earned his place. So you earn your place. And when you do, they will follow you. Women would follow. They were built to follow. They would follow wholeheartedly. They will follow. Sometimes you almost look like they are following foolishly, because you have won them over by your shine, by your protection, by your care, by your attention, by your direction. So what are you offering as the head? Why should they listen to you? Why should they follow you blindly?
Daddy, what are you doing?
Why should they follow you blindly? There's nothing wrong with them following you blindly if you are the right person. If you are the wrong person, then they shouldn't. They hit the brakes, hit reverse. Women want to lead when the men are not pulling their weight. And the weight, please stop thinking financially. Finance is just one small part of it. Spiritually, what are you up to? You are married. How many times do you tell your wife, let's go and pray? So you call her the first day, she's not agree, you get angry. And because you're angry, you can't even pray yourself. Why is she going to follow you? You just went to this meeting one day and you came back and you're talking about praying. Pray, start praying. By the time she sees you pray every day for the next 1 month or 2 months, she will join you. So don't think, oh, now Coach Wilson said we should be praying. Okay, so honey, from now on we'll be praying. No, just you start praying your prayer and let your prayer start producing results. She will follow you. She will follow you.
Wow.
Start praying and let your praying start producing results. Pastor would say one miracle will solve the problem. If someone is arguing with you, you perform a miracle. Then they know surely God is with this person. How many miracles have you been able to perform in 4 years, or in 6 years, or in 8 years? That's where it starts from. You start working miracles and they will start following. Okay, so start the work. You are the boss, just like every boss in an office. You understand why you have the company. You understand the vacancy in the company that you're employed for. You understand the need of training for the personnel. You provide the environment for the person to get trained adequately, properly. Then you get to work. You ensure that all the requirements for the person to be able to perform is available. First on the list is your spiritual leadership. Next on the list is your intellectual leadership. So there is spiritual leadership, there's intellectual leadership. You are in the house, you are the husband. Your wife is always consulting with the neighbor on how to turn on electricity or how to do one technical thing or the other. And you are there as the man, and your anger is asking the neighbor, why should you be angry? You failed. That is why she went to the person that will provide the solution. She's only giving you your scorecard. That's what she's giving you. If you could provide it, she wouldn't have gone to the neighbor. Say, how can you be going to the neighbor to ask the neighbor for this? Did you provide it? And it's not about funds. It is not about funds. It's about leadership. Not tyrannic leadership, godly leadership, intellectual leadership, moral leadership. All that comes before the financial leadership. I know couples where the woman earns way more than the man. But because the man is the man that have given spiritual leadership, intellectual leadership, moral leadership, and all otherwise, the woman follows suit, bumper to bumper. The woman is following without any hesitance. Are you that kind of husband? Do you take time to transfer to your wife wisdom? Why the family has to be like this? Why you are making this effort? Why you are taking this decision? When your wife wants to take a decision, can she confide in you and say, oh, honey, look at this thing, which one should I do? Then you give her direction. Then she does it and testimonies come out of it. If you're not yet there, there's hope for you. Start today. They say the best time for you to do something is 10 years ago, 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So even if you have not been doing it, the next best time to start it is now. Start now looking for it. Say, okay, I want to know the purpose of our family. Spend time with the Lord. Craft out, even if you think you don't have the clear picture right now, write something and say, Lord, as I go along, show me more. As you yield, because the faith you need is the faith to start. As you start, it's like Moses. When it was until Moses did what the Lord asked him to do before the sea was parted. The stick did not turn to snake in Moses' hands. He had to drop it. There was an action. So you start. The moment you start, the sea starts to part. So why did you get married? Why did you get married to the person you got married to? What is your plan for this marriage? Then what are the actions that should be taken to get you to achieve this plan? Then what is your part on the action? Are you providing the enabling environment for your wife to be able to play her own part? You want your wife to be a sex machine? The mattress that you have was the mattress that they gave to you before you got married. Each time you get up from the mattress, you can't even explain how your body is. All your body is feeling broken. Then you want her to bounce and produce babies for you. How? And you are angry that she's not turned on when you want to have sex. Turned on to where? You are not creating the enabling environment. Why men are like microwave when it comes to sex, women are like native pots. Microwave, you click on it 1, 2, and it just goes from 0 to 100. Bam, that is the end. Women, you put them on the fire, you have to heat it up. But guess what? Microwave, you bring it out, it cools down immediately. The native pot, you bring it down, put it on the ground. The soup inside of it is still boiling. You need to know the difference. So you don't just come because you are feeling horny. You just tell your wife, she's already sleeping and snoring. You just find a way, turn her one way, and just plug in. The moment you have come, you just snore off and just go. Why are you that selfish? Why are you that aimless? Why are you that purposeless? What happened to her also enjoying it the way you are enjoying it? That is, if you are enjoying that anyway. I don't see how that is enjoyment. I've been in meetings where the wives were complaining that their husbands are not doing it well enough. They just come back from work, take a shower. For those that remember to take a shower, just fall on their wife, bounce a few times, they just climax, and they just roll over and just fall like a log of wood. That is it till the next day. Is your wife a robot? Is she plastic? Does she not deserve to have pleasure? You want to procreate, you want to have children, you want to have a village. Should it be work for her, or should it be pleasurable for her? What's your plan? This marriage that you have put together, what's your plan? I don't know if anyone have asked you before, but now that you have been asked, what is your plan? Do you want your wife to be happy, or do you want her to be one of the housemaids? What's your provision like? What is your vision like? What's your leadership like? Do you even notice your wife? When your wife makes a new hair, for instance, do you notice? When your wife wears a beautiful perfume, do you notice? Does your wife feel free to be nude in front of you? She's married you now for 2 years, 1 year. 8 years, 6 years, does the wife feel free to be nude in front of you? Can she be nude in front of you daytime, not at night when the whole light is off? What are the intimate things that you do with your wife? I'm rounding up this chapter now, but I just wanted to give you guys, final before things to think about. What are the intimate things you do with your wife? Is it just sex? How many of you take out the time to shave your wife? You lie her down and say, you are now bushy. Let me shave you. You take, is it clipper, is it shaving cream, whatever she permits you to use, and you shave her clean. From her armpit to her pubic hair. How many of you can their wives take their their private part and put in your hands for you to shave them? How many people have wives that are that comfortable with them? How many of you have made your wife so comfortable that your wife can take your hand and put it in her private part, or put it on her boobs, or put it on her butt, and derive pleasure from it? How many of you have made your wife that comfortable? If you haven't, you have work to do. You have work to do. So you should be able to move her from the girl you married down the street to the flesh of your flesh. How many of you know your wife's bra size, her pant size, her dress size? For the sake of knowing. I'm not even saying go to the market and buy. Let me give you guys a little bit of hint. The reason why I postponed the meeting from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. My wife needed my attention for something, so I used that top part of my break time. I drove home, picked her up, I took her to a lingerie store. She needed to buy some new bras and pants. So I postponed your meeting by 1 hour because I needed to give her the time to go shopping with her. She does not know her bra size. I know her bra size. I know the fitting. You say, but I thought you were busy. I am very busy. But I'm able to balance my time. I drove out, got there, finished it with her, got back here, sat down. I already have my notes that I'm going to have with you guys, organized it a little bit. Then I jumped into the meeting. As I'm hanging up now, I've already been getting serious calls at work because my work is still on. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to go into production that I'm being paid for. But I'm taking out time for my paid work, and I'm being paid in dollars. So it's big time payments. I produce, I direct, I script, I design, I train. I do all that, and I have a family, and I'm having to talk to you guys after talking to some of your wives. So you are not as busy as you think you are, not to be able to spend time or create time with your wife. Quality time. Let her know that you see her. Buy her stuff. It doesn't have to be expensive. It starts from the attention. Find out what she likes and how she likes it. How many of you know the sensitive spots on your wife's body? Have you taken time to explore, to find out? Sensitive spots in her mind. Have you taken time to search her mind? Engage her, talk with her. Find out what are the things she likes. Why does she like them? Are they temporary liking or long-term like? Because a woman, her likes changes. There are some that are long-term liking and there are some that are temporary liking. She can like something today, you buy it tomorrow. Say, no, that one is old. Oh, that one is old. I don't like it anymore. This one is. If I wear it, my friends will laugh at me. It's old. So you need to know the why, so that you are always updated. Say, but I'm a man. We don't get involved in such like. Do you want to have a happy home? Do you want to have a happy life? Say, are you one of those people that say happy wife, happy life? It's not about happy wife, happy life. It's about you fulfilling your purpose in her life. The same way you want Jesus to fulfill his purpose in your life. Christ is our head. We follow on to Christ, right? And you want Christ to fulfill his purpose in you. That's the same way you fulfill your purpose to your wife. Christ provided everything for you, right? Why not you turn around and do the same? So what's your purpose? What's your reason of getting married? Why did you get married? Why did you get married to this person? Did you get married to this person for her to come and become your servant, to come and become your housemaid, to come and become the chicken that's laying eggs for you, to come and become your help, to come and become your flesh of your flesh? What is your reason? Why did you marry a particular person? Now that you already have the person, and now, okay, based on what you know now, you want to upgrade your purpose. That's great. Upgrade the purpose. Have a sit down with her. Transfer this information to her. Transfer it in such a way that she, like you are making a proposal that you want your business partners to adopt. So transfer it in a way that is convincing and adoptable by her, in a way she understands. If she does not understand, don't get angry and walk off. Say, this thing is this, I don't have time for this. No. Recalibrate, change your language, find a way. Say that your life is dependent on it. Her understanding of your proposal, take it that your life is dependent on it, because your life truly is dependent on it. Your future is dependent on it. The nation you are going to produce is dependent on it. And the quicker you know it, the more serious you take it. Don't say because I'm the head I give instruction. You just kill yourself for nothing, because you get angry, you fight, you do all that, then you produce children that are going to be toxic to the environment. So it is important that she buys into the vision. And some women are amplifiers. You give them one thing, they help you amplify it into 10. You're like, I didn't even think about it like this. So she's just by having a conversation with her, your imagination is expanding, is amplifying. I have a wife like that. Whenever we sit down to discuss something, it usually ends up bigger than what it was when I started the conversation. When she comes to me with a conversation, it ends up becoming bigger than what she initially anticipated. We amplify each other. We're not in competition. We're not trying to outshine each other. The only competition my wife and I have is competition to outdo each other in terms of outdo each other in love. I want to give her bigger and better gift, give her better attention, she wants to do the same for me. That's the only competition my wife and I have. To outdo each other in love. And our love is not mouth, it's not just I love you. It's backed up with substance. I love you, let's go and pray. I love you, want to give to the work of the kingdom. I love you, I want to buy you a car. I love you, I want to get you into a new, bigger house. I love you, I want to help you do your business. And she's doing the same thing for me. I love you, I think you should get a bigger contract. Look at this contract that I heard some people talking about. What do you think? You want to file for it? I love you, I think you need to get this qualification. So we are constantly, because we know the vision, so we are constantly pressing towards the mark of this high calling that we have been given. Constantly. Unfailingly. So I hope you've gotten stuff, and I hope I'm still being heard, and I hope you were able to write down stuff, and don't just write and just drop it like you do your normal Sunday service, where you just take down note, and the next time you open that note is the next Sunday. If you do that, the first recipient of whatever investment you give to this thing is you. If you give it good attention, you get good out of it. You don't give it attention, it will be like every other meeting that you've been to that you didn't pay attention to, and you wonder, why did I waste my time? But I promise you, if you pay attention to these things we talked about and give the corresponding action to it, you would be the first recipient of the dividends that come with it. Oh, your wife, when you touch her, she says she's tired. You start doing these kind of things, she will rarely tell you she's tired. She will ask you, how much do you want in terms of sex? She will ask you, how much attention do you want? She will ask you, how much do you want? That's what her responses will be most of the time. If you're those kind of microwave kind of sex person, where you just do palm, you are gone, and now you're not paying attention to her, looking for her soft spot, looking for her, what tickles her, looking for her. The next time you want to have sex with her, she'll spread and just open for you. You are the one that will have it and get full, if you ever get full.
Listening coach, I don't know if we still have just a short time. Brother Prince Albert has a question.
Let me hear it, please.
Yes. Prince Albert, please unmute and let's have your question.
Thank you so very much, sir. You talked about taking time to take your wife somewhere and having a meeting. You talked about, in one of the points you discussed, you said we should create time where we can take our wives somewhere and have a meeting and discuss with them a few things. My wife happens to be a person that loves asking things on phone. When you bring her aside and say, let's discuss this, you'll never get her discuss anything. But when she's on phone, she'll text asking this question, she'll call talking about this, talking about the other thing. But literally sitting down saying, can we now discuss ABCD? Can we solve such a matter? that kind of person. How do you go about such a matter?
Okay. Now, a friend of mine, a senior pastor of mine, we're talking a few days ago, and he reenacted the scenario, the experience that Jesus had by the well with the woman that had several husbands. If you go through that particular narration, you find that when Jesus started speaking to her, the first time she addressed Jesus as a Jew. Then from there, she addressed her as Sir. Then next thing, she addressed him as prophet. Then next thing, she addressed him as Messiah. So imagine if Jesus had shut down when he addressed him as a Jew. He will not end up winning the whole of that Samaritan town. That the woman, because when the woman ran into the town, he said she brought everyone from the town. The Lord Jesus won the whole town just from that woman alone, because he was patient enough to go through the process. Now, to answer your question, I just said that to open your mind. To answer your question, you have to be willing and patient enough to go through this process. A lot of women are very quick with their devices, either as a result of typing or talking. My wife used to be one of those, right? But with patience, you can ask her a question and tell her, feel free to send me your response anytime you want to send me your response. Because what you want to advance, right? So when you are taking her out, let that taking out be like a reward for the conversation you guys have had. So since she's the kind of person that likes to send messages, you have to learn to read messages, because you are the one that wants to reach out to her. So you ask her this question, do you know what this family is about? Do you know what this, that? You ask her this question. It can be like 3, but don't make it be too many questions. Take it one at a time. Maybe this week you can just talk about 1 or 2 questions, get that cleared. Once you have settled that before you move to the next one. So this is our family. I want us to have a clear vision. What is your idea about this? You put the question there, you send it to her. She sends you a response. No problem. Clear your schedule where you are so that you're able to spend the time to do the back and forth. Then she tells you so. Then you send her another question after understanding what you're saying. Do you mean ABC, or do you mean what's it called, the GAK or something? She tells you what she actually means by it. You say, oh. Then she do this one. Do you mean this one, or do you mean that? So as she's giving you responses, you are getting clarity. Then when you think you are done, you can cut it down for a while. And when you finally see her, say, man, that your conversation was really enlightening. It's just that I can't type as fast as you. I wish this one down. But anyway, you know what? For even giving that response, let me take you out for dinner. You have rewarded her giving you a response. Even the things you're supposed to be alarmed about, you're not alarmed about it. You refer to it as insight. So now she's freer. Then during the dinner, you now say, do you know this part? And when you said it, this was the way it sounded to me. Just tell me, what exactly do you mean by this? You have already lured her in. So now she's not bringing a fresh response to you. She's only expanding on an already existing response that she gave to you. She will definitely be freer, because now she's not feeling judgmental. She's not feeling the pressure of your thou holy face. Because some men can be intimidating without even knowing. The reason why she's not able to talk to you, because the last time she tried putting it in words, it turned into a fight. And she does not want to fight. She found that just sending to you as message is more peaceful. So she'd rather just do it peacefully and send you the message. But the moment you're able to create an environment where you are not quarreling, you are not fighting, you are not arguing with her, you're just taking it in like a student, taking mental notes, then she's freer to tell you more. But you already created a bridge between her own way of communicating and your own way of communicating. Because your aim is to foster peace, is to get into her mind and understand how she thinks, and to help her get to where God's plan for her is. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, sorry. Did I answer your question? Or do you have another question following that?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. At least I've learned.
Okay. Please let it not be at least. Or if you have anything to follow up question, please feel free. Okay, something else I probably didn't mention. I've been married for 14 years. Okay. I know the host says he's been married for 8 years. Somebody says he's been married for 6 years. I know I've had the privilege of enjoying my marriage for 16 years, and we are married today as though we got married last year. For people that know me, they tell you it's been like from glory to glory. I'm not saying this to impress you. I'm saying exactly what it is. My wife and I are more intimate today than we were 14 years ago. And we did not court for long. We were not even in the same city. We didn't know each other for a long time. We courted for a very short time. We got married, and we got to know each other after being married. And we've been happily married now for 14 years and counting. And yes, we've had our challenges, but for everyone that has come, we have the victory banner to show for it. So it's not like, oh, a coach will not understand. He has a very beautiful marriage. His wife is this, his wife is that. No, my wife is a very strong-willed woman, career-oriented. My wife the last time I did a count, she has about 16 different certifications. So she's always reading, like always doing this, or always studying. Do you get it? So she's that kind of woman. So she's a career-oriented wife and mother. Spirit-filled, come talking. She has everything, from brains to power to personality. You know, my wife is the type where you tell her sit down, she wants to know why you told her to sit down. But the moment I gained leadership, not tyrannically, when I gained leadership, when I asked her sit down, she sit down. It's later in the evening, she said, that time you said I should sit down. Why did you say I should sit down? But she sits down first now before asking questions. She didn't come from her father's house that way. My prayer is that you understood very well and not the other. All right? If you have any questions, the good news is you are already on the group. If you're not on the group, join the group. You can paste the question on the group. If you are feeling like, oh, this question is too personal, you can send it directly to the host. The host will find a way to get it to me. We would answer the question for everybody to benefit, but I'll try not to have to mention your name if you don't want your name mentioned, so that not only will you get an answer, every other person who might have similar experience will get the answer. So with this few points of mine, if you do not have any other question, I hope dearly that this class, this chapter 1 was insightful for you. I hope you had something to gain, and I pray that you gained enough for you to want to continue the class, so that you be all the husbands that your wife wants you to be. All right, thank you everyone. I'll have to take my leave now. Host.
Wow.
All right.
Wow. Today, our first class, I must tell us, of course, it's not something I'm telling us now, it's our experience. It's most insightful, new knowledge gained. Why did I get married? Why did I get married to the lady I got married to? What is the purpose for this marriage? What is the end game? How am I going to be able to communicate it to her? And some other side lessons that we all have picked, and I'm sure we are making adjustments where necessary. And I believe, like Coach rightly said, in the case where you have a question, you can put it up on the group. If you're not comfortable, you can send to me directly. My handle is right there. I'm the one communicating on the group. So of course, we would have more classes like this from time to time. And of course, the time for the next one will be communicated ahead. And please, let's make, because the things you're learning here, I think, or we are learning now, are things that several men out there need to learn to make their home more fulfilling and in line with God's purpose and plan. So this is something that you want to share with your friends, the group link, share with the other married men in your city, around you. Be a blessing. Don't be a river, a flowing river. You see, so that some other persons can learn and be a part of what we're doing. This is a revolution. We need more men, not boys. We need more men to take, the reins of their family and be all that God has proposed for them to be. And thank you, Coach, for the time. It's very insightful. It's free, but we know that it's not cheap. Your time is very valuable to you and to us. And of course, we're looking forward to chapter 2. We would plan it better, we would organize it better, we can look forward to it. Then, of course, we will deliver it. Thank you so much for everyone on the call. It's a beautiful experience, and I want to say bye. From here, we'll continue in the community, in the group. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right, have a great day, everyone. Yeah.